joined by one of the people that makes WSI what it is, and that's Carlos Guzman, who's joining us from Mexico City. Carlos, thank you so much for your time today. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm so happy to be here and so happy to be part of this a good part, a good percentage of those 30 years that I've been with WSI. So happy to share and happy to talk.
So take me back to when you first started with WSI. What is your origin story with
I had been in the corporate arena for many years in C-level positions. I was a CEO of a wholesale distribution company for IT products, and we had a coverage in 23 cities in Mexico, Colombia. We had like more than 1,000 resellers, and I was the head of that company for several years. And then suddenly the time came to go independent, which I did, and I started a small consulting firm on change management. So I would go into companies, review what they were trying to accomplish, and see what was the change challenge they had in order for those changes to go forward. Basically, those were technology changes. So when you change a technology, then you have to go through the mind of the people and the culture to make things happen. And I was part of that. But it happened that in every gig that I had, I ended up recommending digital strategies. You have to have a website, you have to do these. And eventually I was like just throwing out recommendations for other companies to make money doing digital. I knew digital was just in the early stages and was growing. And eventually I decided that I needed to integrate digital execution strategies in my own consulting company. And that's how I found WSI. I didn't want to have employees at that time. So I said, I need somebody that I can partner with that would do all the operational part, and I do only the strategic and selling part. And that was exactly how WSI offered to leverage my knowledge of the market with all the knowledge that at that time they had around the digital field. And we went through the process, through the interviews. I liked the system, and so I signed up. And at that time, I was sure that this would be what could leverage me to build a bigger company, not only a self-employed type of occupation. And that's my story. I started with them 20. It's gonna be this next December. I'm gonna be 21 years old in WSI. So that's my story. 21 out of the 30 I've been here.
and I think you have the record right now. The highest I'd had spoken with was 18. So there you go. But it's funny because you say you can reflect back. That's so many years to be with the business, but you get to watch that change evolve. You get to be at the forefront when digital started shifting into SEO, and SEO now started to shifting into now AI as being, such an important offering for clients. So how have you seen WSI evolve through the years, or maybe how have you evolved over the last 21 years to, continue delivering what you do best?
The evolution has been very good because when you start a company by your own, you need somebody to drive you through the path. Because if you want to do sales and operations and management and everything and still decide on the strategy and the strategic path to follow, sometimes it's complex. And that's why some entrepreneurs, they are talented, but they go the wrong way because they don't have the time to analyze which path to take. And that's one of the values that I got from WSI.
Talking about evolve, how WSI has evolved, the business you have evolved over the last 21 years of your experience there.
Yes. Well, what I think is that a big part of my success has been because of WSI, because they have always guided me to which strategic path I should take. When you are an entrepreneur and you have to take care of so many things, sometimes you do not make the correct assessment of which strategic path you should take to the future. And probably you go wrong. And even though you might have talent, you do well the wrong things. And here, what WSI shows us is which has showed me which has been the right things to do along the way. Why they do it right is because they take their time, they assess the market, they validate the technology. They don't just go and pursue any fad and tell the franchisees to just do something because it's a fad, you know? I remember that when Twitter came out, it took many months before WSI told us we should pursue Twitter at that time. I'm talking long way ago. But because Twitter was not validated, it was not really something that we knew that could help a company pursue their marketing goals. So having it's like having WSI as your strategic thought partner that evaluates where we should go and then we follow the lead. And that guide has been instrumental for my business. And I think that's one of the values, and that's one of the ways, the things I discovered when I was going solo, when I was going independent. Because I remember that digital and internet was the thing to pursue. It was a promise. I had been on that market before WSI, but I didn't know what to pursue. Should I go and do e-learning? Should I go and try to do e-commerce? Should I go and try to build websites? What should I do when I was starting my own business? And WSI has always given us the correct guidance of what paths and what journeys we should pursue to the future. Sometimes maybe it takes longer because we become, as franchisees, become desperate of. I mean, the world is moving towards that direction, and WSI has not come to us to tell us go that direction.
Yeah.
But it's because they're doing their part, they're doing their job, they are assessing the reality of that movement, of that trend, of that technology. And when they come and tell you this is the way to go and this is where you can have success, is because they have already done the research and development that you as a small entrepreneur cannot do. I have always said they are like my R&D department. They validate things, they validate trends, and whenever they come and suggest something to us, is because they have done their part. And that has been really good because when you're a small business, you don't have the luxury of the time or the money to do research of where to go. You sometimes go with your intuition. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. But if you have a partner that guides you through that, it's amazing. So that's like kind of the biggest value I have learned to have along the years with WSI.
It's kind of refreshing to hear that approach. I've been asking franchisees and experts within WSI 30 years, 30 lessons, and I'm trying to get 30 lessons out of people. I'm curious, Carlos, what is your lesson? What is something that you have learned on this journey that's really stuck with you or just kind of helped define how you conduct your business in WSI?
You want one?
See, yeah, you have to pick
It's
one.
it's gonna be tough, but I would tell you that many people, when they buy a franchise, they want the franchise to do everything. And WSI is not that way. WSI gives you a lot of options. There's people in WSI that are solopreneurs, and there's people like me that have 30 employees. Okay. There's people that pursue one niche. There's people that pursue completely horizontal, whatever a company comes. So WSI gives you a lot of options, and that's very interesting. But then you have to do your own work. You have to evaluate those options and decide which ones you should follow. And I think my biggest lessons is that whenever I have done my part and my job of evaluating the options that WSI puts on the table, I have been all in. So once I've made a decision, I have gone all in and I have followed WSI suggestions and processes and everything because once I decide to go with one of those options, the only way to make it work is to work hard, go all in, commit yourself, and do not go desperate because it didn't work in 2 months. You have to really invest your time. So going all in means that you also have to decide what not to do. And there are lots of options that WSI brings into the table, and I have decided not to do because I have decided to commit myself to others. So if we could put it like in a small phrase, is options that allow you to decide where to bring your business and then go all in to that thing that you have decided and learn to say no to the other ones because you don't have the luxury of unlimited energy to pursue everything that WSI brings into the table. And I think that along the way, I have been fortunate to make good options of those things that WSI has put in the table, over the table. I have chosen wisely, I think. At least I have chosen accordingly to my market and to my company. And that has allowed me to grow my company for 20 years and have staff and have global customers that I serve using the WSI learnings, teachings, processes, etc. So I would say have options, choose one, go all in, and decide what not to do, and then focus yourself, target yourself to whatever you decide to do, and you will always have WSI on your back to support you. Sometimes you go above WSI. There are some things in which I had gone all in, and eventually I had probably went to more specialization than what WSI initially gave us or made available. But that's my differentiation, and I have not been able to go that bad if WSI had not been instrumental on putting those options into the table.
What do you think someone who's just joining USI or thinking about joining, what do you think they should know about the experience before they sign the last bit on the piece of paper and jump right in? What would you really want someone thinking about WSI to know about what their experience is going to be?
Well, the answer goes very related to my previous comment because somebody that joins WSI needs to understand that a lot of the options and the decisions are gonna be his options and his decisions. It's not like WSI will tell you go for a location that's this size, put this sign, put this price, sell these products. WSI doesn't give you that, and that's the wrong idea of franchise that many individuals have. So it's the thing that I would say is if you want to have certain kind of freedom to design the type of business and the type of market and the type of solutions, but still have somebody in your back that gives you the research, that gives you the access to technology, that gives you the best practices, that gives you the training, then that's a sweet spot. You maintain your independence as a creative entrepreneur, but you are not alone. And that is something that the newbie in WSI needs to understand. It's that a great part of his success is in his own responsibility. We have to do our part. And but at the end, that comes with a lot of freedom to decide how I want to architecture my business. And that is something that rarely is found in a franchise system. So I would say, do your part, understand the options, define what you want for your own future, and then choose those elements from WSI that will help you drive your company to that future that you want. And then you will be very successful. Do not expect WSI to give you everything on a silver platter. They will give you the components. You do the recipe. Do not expect WSI to just give you lots and lots of prospects coming into the door. No, because you design your own business and you design your own differentiation. You design your own value proposition and you design the target market you want to pursue. WSI will give you the tools, but you maintain the freedom to go after the market that you want. So I would say that it's like that very sweet spot in which you are not part of a franchise that even tells you at what time you open and you close your company every day, but you are not alone. You have the right company at the right moment with the right resources to build your own business, and that is very valuable if you want to be different in the market and not just one outlet that is like all the other outlets of a certain franchise. And I would say that's it. It's knowledge, guidance, a lot of resources, but the freedom to design your own business and your own future.
I'm curious. I've asked you for one lesson, and this might even be harder, but if you could pick one word to describe WSI, what would it be and why?
I don't know the word in English. It would be compañía. It's like a company. It was they are my companion. companion through my business journey. Really, I am never alone. I never feel alone because if I even have a problem, I can go to the community and ask them. And there's lots of other fellow ICs that have experienced my problem, and they will give me guidance and consulting just as friends. So, companionship, that would be my one word.
I have everything I need from you. Is there anything you'd like to say about your time with WSI?
I think, yes, there's something important that I want to say. It's like another thing that we get from them is like freshness. Every now and then they will come with something new and exciting and that has future and that has a promise, and when you get that from your companionship, from your partners, then you are continuously refreshing your own enthusiasm. It's not like I have a business that is doing the same thing every month and every year throughout 20 years. Every time that something comes out from WSI, it's a new thing and it refreshes me. It refreshes me to go to conventions and get to know everything new from WSI and from other ICs. But it refreshes me every time they launch something, they announce something, they release something, because that's why I can be excited about my business after 20 years. They always keep me excited about my business because they're doing their job of finding new things, bringing them to me, and then I become, wow, this is the new thing, and I never get bored. Today it's AI, but it will be something else in the future as it has been something else in the past. So that constant refreshing of the enthusiasm that we feel for our businesses is something that I don't see. I have friends in other franchise systems, they don't get that. And I get that. And I'm always like happy about the new thing. And that is, wow, I want to come to my office every day because there's new things and WSI is helping me bring these new things into the business.